This is Anna Hoffman with Traffic Generation Cafe. And today I have the lovely Diane Holmes with me, and I have every intention of asking her some very tough questions about monetizing a business through creating an online course. Diane, before I go any further, would you please tell us a few words about yourself and just a little bit about your expertise in course creation?
Um, well, I have sort of the best expertise ever, which is that I'm a student in course creation, and I'm in the middle of the whole process of beginning and like doing the pilot and bringing a course to life. And the really fun thing about that is that it's like I know exactly what the questions are and exactly what it's like to be in that place of I have a huge dream I'm bringing to life, and then all those points along the way where you like go, oh my gosh, I don't know if I could do this, but it's exciting, fun stuff. And I'm with Mircy and Diane now as the evangelist for the Course Builders Laboratory, which is just a phenomenal course. So I kind of have two different sides of the picture, and that can be really beneficial to those just starting out.
Well, I almost raised my hand when you said had a big dream, because I have a huge dream for Traffic Generation Cafe, and I really could use some help kind of guiding me as I go along in the process. So I'm very, very excited about it. But just let me tell you, the viewers first, the reason Diane is here today, because on Tuesday, May 17th, she's going to teach us something very, very valuable. She's going to walk us through a step-by-step process of starting to build an online course, pre-selling that course before you actually build it, before you put all the time and all the assets into it, pre-selling that course, and then finishing your first pilot course, which is sort of the minimum viable course that you can create, and launch that pilot course with your early buyers. So this is what we'll be talking about. The event, again, it will happen on Tuesday, May 17th, I believe at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. And of course, I'll post the link to the training as well so that you can reserve your spot. So anyway, Diane, what took me by surprise, I'll be honest with you, is basically the promise that I can build and launch my pilot course and make money with it within 60 days. And I mean, it sounds all great, but really 60 days? That sounds very, that sounds a little bit out there, but I'll take your word for it. So again, dear viewers, Diane will show us how to do all of that during the training. You'll see the dates and the links somewhere around this video or in the post you're reading right now. So, but for now, what I wanted to do is, I have questions, Diane, because again, the whole thing, but pre-selling your course, how am I going to do it? Will I really make money in 60 days? So the questions are just, coming out. So I thought I'd invite you and kind of ask you a few of them and see if we can clear the air on some of this. So
that sounds good. I have answers. You just ask.
Okay, I'll hold you to that. So my first question is, I don't have any experience in creating an online course. Do I need any kind of special knowledge or skills to build a course?
You really don't. And I'm not just making that up. I want you to understand that I had no website and no list.
Wow.
And I successfully launched a course. So when I say, like you don't need any, you really don't. But what you do need is like that desire to make a difference, something of value to teach, and the willingness to like roll up your sleeves and like do some work. There's, when you talk about 60 days, like, can you really do this in 60 days? And it's sort of like, yes, that's very realistic. What's not realistic is, can I do it in an afternoon and then go sit on a beach and just rake in the money? And that's sort of been the message for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, And so, 60 days, when you're a realistic entrepreneur and like actually there's work involved and you're building a business and you're wanting to do something really great for your students, then you start having this different time frame, but 60 days is absolutely doable, and I did it personally in less than 60 days.
Mm.
Not that that's like the goal, but I'm just like, I know 60 days doable.
That's sort of a dream come true for me, so I look forward to that. And you kind of touched on my next question, but I'm going to ask it anyway because I you really don't need an audience, an existing audience, to build and sell a course.
No, you don't. And it's because there are several different ways to kind of launch your course, your pilot. And some of them, yeah, there are methods that do require, 1,000, 2,000, people on your list. But we also have methods if your list is like 350, or if you don't have a list at all. And so I teach those methods in the webinar. The last 30 minutes is completely devoted to going over step by step how to do this. But I will tell you just briefly, what I did was I worked with joint venture partners, which basically is like a fancy smancy term for like, I have friends. And I said, guess what I'm doing? And they said, oh, we'll submit an email for you, it's really that simple. And one of the things I love is the fact that I get to cover this marketing selling piece, because people who want to build a course, usually they want to build a course and because they're comfortable with the idea already of teaching or sharing their knowledge and wisdom. That doesn't mean they're comfortable at all with marketing or selling. And they tend to go, it's like that panic, like, oh my God, it's going to be, I'm going to have to sell this. It's going to be hard. And there's zero hard about any of the methods. It's literally just do this step, do this next step, takes this next small step, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh, I'm selling without being what I thought of as a salesperson. I'm being an authentic person who's offering something of value.
That makes complete sense. And just kind of expanding on what you said, most of my readers do have a blog, which means that they teach their audience something already. So this is taking what you're already doing and kind of packaging it differently and actually making money off of it. That's a very pretty good. I'm excited again. So
it's true.
Okay, so my readership comes from all kinds of walks of life, markets, niches. Would this training work for any niche?
Yes. I'm quick to answer that because I'm very active on the Facebook group that's the mastermind that goes with the course building laboratory. And so I'm out there with all my peers, my fellow students. And I have a peer who's teaching, how to have a good relationship with your horse. I have a peer who's teaching ballroom dancing. And, it's all these different topics. And while, some of the people are teaching like internet marketing and, which is like, okay, that's kind of a no-brainer. There's like here, we're teaching stress relief. All these things that you think of as being offline, but they do very well online as well. And that's because, we have this video now. And you can do a lot of the things that require demonstration. And there's so many wonderful ways, and even like Google Hangouts, which is what we're doing, which is like really kind of low tech and no cost.
Good point.
And
yes.
So the nice thing about that is, there's a lot of reasons that you never launch your course. And one of them is you think, oh, I need this, I need that tech, I need to learn this. And, part of this process is, no, you don't. Let's make it simple and get you where you need to go so that you're teaching, your niche and your people. But I would say when it comes to niche, that the thing that you really do have to do is show up, engage with your audience, and then listen if they're interested or not. Because if they're not interested, you really should pay attention and find out what they're interested in. And it's a case of what we look at as alignment. Like here's what you want to teach, here's what they want to learn. And you just have to work with that so that you really are hitting that sweet spot. And part of the success piece of what we go into on the webinar is how do you not spend 2,500 hours working on a course that nobody buys? And part of it is that alignment, looking at your niche, making sure, it's just you've got just the right approach.
All right. And the next question would be, so I'm listening to you right now, and for instance, it's the first time I even considered building a course to monetize my business. Right. So will this training help me to come up with a brilliant idea of what people might want to learn from me? Or do I need to know that before coming to the training?
A lot of people show up with, like, they have this burning passion, they have their idea, and, like, they're all about that. But about 20 or 30% of the people literally will either have too many ideas, so they don't know what to do, or no ideas, but they know they have some expertise. They just don't know what to pull out for a course. And so, like, that's completely fine because, getting there, I have a couple of really cool, like, visualization exercises, little thought experiments that get you there really quickly. And, not knowing is not a problem because you have the expertise. I know that because I know who your audience is, the people with the blogs, the people interested in social media and doing all these things. They're already, smart people.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to teach the course. So I just want to say to anybody out there, if you feel like I really want a course, but I'm clueless, I've got something for you. And many of our students do start there. That's a great starting place. Why not start with, I want to do it and I need an idea?
All right.
That's perfectly fine.
So another thing that some people might wonder about, it sounds like I need to be a techie of sorts to build a course, because it just seems like, even though I haven't done it, it just seems to me like I need to know a lot of technology and how-tos and whatnot. Is that true?
No, not at all. To this day, I still don't have a website.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. I don't even have business cards. And it's because I'm focused on building my course and not focused on how geeky can I get with a website. Because my problem is that I actually have a lot of tech background. And that is a dangerous place to be. And interestingly enough, it's very similar to not having any tech knowledge. So, because in either instance, you think, oh, I need that tech piece, and then you disappear in the rabbit hole trying to figure it out
Mm-hmm.
and make it work. And so the message very much is do the least amount you need. Get on Skype and teach live, or Zoom, which is phenomenal and very stable and free, up to a certain number of minutes and a certain number of people, or Google Hangouts. And, do the least amount as possible so that you launch quickly, because there's just science around. You don't move quickly, then what happens a year later is you've stalled out. So, do the right steps, and then, don't let technology be a hurdle. Just feel fine going with just Google Hangouts like we are.
Okay. Yes, I can see that. Now, again, you're kind of ahead of me in everything that I want to ask you, but I just want to make sure that we get those certain points in. So basically, I hear you say that your business doesn't have to be kind of far along before I can start building a course. Is that correct? I heard that correctly?
It is. It is. We have people along the entire scale. So we do have people who have been incredibly successful and have $1 million business that are coming in. They want to add courses, right? But we have a lot of people who want to start their internet business, and they're starting it with a course. And it is the perfect place. If you ask me, if you are somebody who just natively loves teaching, and if you're a blogger, that's really what you do. I mean, you're putting out your thoughts, your wisdom, you're talking to an audience, then why not start with a course and make that the cornerstone of your business? So
I wish I thought of that 4 years ago before I started Traffic Generation Cafe. I love what I do. I absolutely do. But my bank account would be a lot heavier with me by now if I did that.
I have a lot of failure in my background. You think of people as having, they just had a lot of success and that's why they're doing so well. And I think that a lot of us do really well because of the master's degree that we have in failure. And so I will share, on the webinar, my story of being in your situation.
Oh, okay.
and what happened with that. So I have a lot of sympathy, for that. But I learned a lot, which is why the course building and then taking the right steps. I knew it's like I don't want to be on my own. Trying to figure it out and do everything right. Like, please, I'd like an expert to tell me the right steps that, absolutely work.
Okay, sounds good. And the last question, if you don't mind, I don't mean to keep you too long, but how is this training different from anything else we can find online?
Well, it was Course Builders Laboratory was developed by Diane, who's the founder of Miracy, which used to be called Fire Pole Marketing. And he literally is a thought leader on course building and on this particular kind of course building that is not about building an information product. And he literally was the first one doing it. A year ago, nobody was doing this sort of methodology that I'm going to be teaching you. And it's been successful for him. It's been successful for all the other learning to him and all our students. So, for one thing, there's just a history of success that, we can really look at, and that's really nice. But the other thing is, the training is different because you're going to be able to take what I teach you and move out that day and put it into your business and use it. And, which makes me really happy as a teacher, to know that I'm teaching strategies and mind shifts and then actual, some step-by-step things that, this is going to help everybody who watches, regardless of what you do, there are some mind shifts that you can apply even beyond coursework.
Wonderful.
But I think it's going to be a phenomenal webinar, and then there are live question and answers at the end, and I just take any questions, honest to goodness, because I'm there to present, and I know a lot about it from that side, but I'm a student. So that's one thing, is that you can ask me student questions too.
Wonderful. I look forward to it, Diane. Thank you so much for taking your time. And again, dear viewers, the training, it's called 60 Days to Build and Sell Your First Course. It will be held on Tuesday, May 17th at 9 a.m. Pacific. You will see a link to register. The training is completely free. And as Diane said, you'll walk away from, what is it, an hour and a half, right? Something like that?
It's an hour and a half.
You will walk away with a complete blueprint of how you can take what you learned on Tuesday, and on Tuesday start building your course. So I'm very, very excited about it. Again, thank you so much, Diane. I look forward to speaking to you on Tuesday.
All right. Bye, everybody.